I've been sharing a whole lot about all the different things that I've learned from the Bible. So if you haven't seen my videos or even the titles of my videos, I escaped a very abusive marriage, and my ex began stalking me and trying to take my life, as did my family. They were all kind of in it together, which I realized later. I am literally only here today because God rescued me and saved me. And in this year of living in hiding, I have not had anyone. I haven't had a friend. I haven't had anybody. Like, it's literally just me and God. That's it. But I'm okay with it because I'm never alone because I have Him. So I've just been posting a lot of things that I've that have really resonated with me in the Bible. I ended up reading the entire Bible like front to back last year. Really opened my eyes to God, how amazing He is, Jesus, how like amazing He is. And I would recommend it to any and everybody to read the entire Bible because you can't truly understand until you read His Word. So that's my plug for reading the Bible. But I am going to be like sharing just things that kind of resonate with me from the Bible that really I would stop and like, what? Like, how? This is crazy because this is my life. And I'm really like learning the Bible really is like timeless. Like, you will be shocked. And there's always something new you can learn. One of my favorite like stories in the Bible is when there's the king Saul. He had been like disobedient to God, and so God was like, "Listen, like I need to anoint a new king." So He sent His prophet Samuel to anoint. He's like, "Listen, you got to go see this guy Jesse. He has these sons, and one of his sons I'm gonna anoint to be the king after King Saul." And Jesse has all his sons come, and Samuel the prophet literally like looks at Jesse's oldest son, like his oldest son comes, because God's like, okay, just go see his sons. I'm gonna tell you which one I want you to anoint. And so his oldest son comes, and Samuel thinks to himself like, oh, this is definitely him. Like, he's like tall, he's super handsome, he looks like a king. Like, this has to be the guy. And God's like, no, that's not the one, actually. And when God says, like, oh, I just love it. So God's like, you look at the outward appearance of people, I look at their heart. And so God actually told Samuel to anoint the youngest son, David, like David and Goliath. So he literally became king, but it just really resonated with me because, especially with me, if you were to look at me, you would not think that like I have the relationship with God that I do. And I haven't always been this way, of course. I was very much a lukewarm Christian where like I believed in God, but I treated Him like a genie where it's like I would just pray if I wanted something, and if I didn't get it, I'd be like angry with God and not understand. And things are different now, clearly, and I have a very, very, very close relationship with Him. But it's always been like I've always been judged off how I look, and even like not even speaking like biblically and like, just anointing and all that, like from God, but just in terms of like intelligence and morals and values. Like, people have always assumed I'm literally the complete opposite of how I am. They've always assumed like I'm not that intelligent. I'm like, sounds really prideful, but like I am really intelligent. Like, I graduated college a semester early. I like I had a full academic scholarship to college. I've done really well professionally. Or people think that I'm like this party girl, and I'm like, I am a loner. I've never had friends. I don't go to parties. I've never really gone to parties. I had kids young, so like I went out for like a good 2 years, and other than that, like I don't go to clubs. I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm like, I'm not a social person. I'm an introvert. I'm very, very, very shy. Nobody knows me. So it's always funny, and people are always like, no, you're a party girl. And I'm like, I'm not. I actually have social anxiety when I get in groups of people. Like, I kind of freak out. Like, if I had to go to like a networking event or something for work, like I would literally like have really bad anxiety because I don't like being around a lot of people. But again, it's like people look at me and think the complete opposite. So that really resonated with me. And then, of course, as far as just like God's anointing, I'm not going to like, say, ooh, God, just I'm God's favorite, nothing like that. But what I am going to say is like, definitely we should not be judging others, especially like when it comes to like God's anointing and things like that, because people that you might look at and be like, whatever, like they can't be like messengers from God. Like they can't be like God's servants who are here to like help, you know, mankind and like, promote God and spread the good news and like be disciples. Like God can use anybody. And that's like really what that came from, is like God can use me even if I don't look like what you would think that God's disciple should look like. God could still use me. And that goes for all of us. So just before we start like judging people, especially like I've seen it even like yesterday, people were like, oh, you can't be Christian and look like that, like talking to other girls. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, we should just not be judging like the outward appearance, because that's not what God's judging when he's deciding who he wants to use. He's looking at our hearts. So just think about that.